Slava Isusa Christus, Slava Navika, glory be to Jesus Christ, glory be forever. This is Father Basil again. And I'm going to start today talking again about the commandments. I've probably talked about them before in my podcast, but I think it's important for us to reflect upon the commandments of God as often as we can. So the first commandment, I am the Lord your God. You shall not have other gods before me. Worship the one true living God with faith, hope, and love. Adore him above all else. Pray to him. Trust in him. Cling to him. Never doubt his goodness or mercy. Give him praise and thanks for everything. Never allow any person, idea, occupation, or thing to become an idol in your life. Avoid all forms of superstition. Never involve yourself in any form of idolatry, divination, occult, fortune-telling, or magic. All these things are not from God. So, this sounds simple, but yet in our life, we worship so many things besides God. We worship money. We worship sometimes drugs and alcohol. We worship sex. We worship pride and power, and we worship material things. All those things that we do that are not from God are a sin against the first commandment. So, and another thing is that when we don't trust in God, when we doubt God, if we are in a very precarious situation, if we are having difficulties in our life, when we are, when everything is not going the way we expect it, when we're having overcome difficulties, we need to put our trust totally in God our Father. It's also a sin against the commandment when we put our trust in anything except God. You know? We think that we can control our own lives. We often think that we don't need God to help us in our difficulties. We could do it all ourselves. And that's also sinning against his commandment. Because when we don't trust in God, we are being prideful. We are being arrogant at times. Saying, well, yeah, I can do this myself. I don't need your help, God. I don't need anything from you. You know, the thing is, you know, those who are considered non-believers, so those who are not Christian or not Catholic or not religious, they may think that God exists. They may or may not think that God exists. But even if they think God exists, they don't have any personal relationship with God at all. So they do things in their own human way and never ask for God's assistance because they don't think God is that power that can help them in life. So when we don't worship God, when we don't worship Him through our actions, through our prayers, through our words, through our very being, we are sinning against that first commandment. And also, in our world today, there's so much evil caused by, superstition, occult, divination, worshiping, Ouija boards and all that stuff, the spirit world, fortune telling, magic. And, we think it's fun. We think that, it's not going to hurt anyone by reading a horoscope. It's not going to hurt anyone by reading a fortune cookie. But those things aren't from God. They're not from God. We have to be so careful in how we live our life day to day. We have to be really careful, because those little things that we think are fun in life, we think, well, it's okay if I go and, do this fortune telling, read a horoscope. It's okay if I, try to predict my future by this occultist, by this fortune teller. Those things are very dangerous. We got to be very, very careful with that. Even hypnotism. When we are not in our right mind, it's the same as when we take drugs or alcohol. When we are drunk or affected by drugs, we're not in your right mind. And you do things that are sometimes very bad. You're not in control of your actions. It's the same thing when our mind is influenced by these things that are not from God. When our mind are influenced by things of the evil spirits, we are going to do things that are not from God. Right? So be very careful with that. Be very, very careful. Anyway, so that's the first commandment we have. I am the Lord your God. You shall not have other gods before me. God bless.